Roblox. This is a place where we filter all the text and the voice, where we monitor for critical harms, where there's no image sharing or any of the things that might happen from that.
I want to start off by saying that we all want to keep Roblox safe. We share this view, and we know that there's members of our community who feel strongly about that too. And you know what? We welcome them as part of the dialogue about how to keep Roblox safer.
I want to highlight, we have always had safety as one of our top priorities, and we're not waiting for the law or legislation. We've innovated with age estimation on our own because we want to keep people on our platform.
This whole situation is kind of crazy.
Everybody go donate to this boy Schlep.
This is probably the worst decision this company has ever made.
Hashtag free Schlep, I'm God.
Yeah, they actually need Schlep.
I'm wishing Schlep the best.
Roblox, you need to do something.
There's got to be something done.
Nobody at Roblox listens to us. I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated.
Why should we support a platform that is taking steps to prevent predators from getting caught?
Roblox has just lost $12 billion in market value following their response to their cease and desist letter against me. Just for context, I'm someone who's gotten 6 predators within their community arrested in real life. That loss, though, isn't on me. It's a direct result of Roblox's own response to its child safety crisis. Instead of addressing the real issues, Roblox has doubled, tripled, even quadrupled down. They've put out statements after statements painting me and my team as reckless vigilantes while claiming that their platform is safe, when it absolutely is not. People are just seeing through this, and that's why a huge movement has started online called Free Schlep. It's been trending everywhere. Multiple members of Congress have now called out the company's child abuse problem, and the Attorney General of Louisiana has filed a giant lawsuit against the company for, and I quote, prioritizing user growth, revenue, and profits over child safety. The day after the Attorney General's lawsuit was filed, Roblox's market value dropped by $12 billion. In response, the company scrambled to roll out new policies targeting the very not safe for work games featured in the lawsuit and my videos, like for instance, bathroom simulators. Mind you, the community has been calling out these games for years now, but still, even after everything, instead of removing these blatantly inappropriate experiences, Roblox simply slapped a 17+ label on them. They also launched a ban wave against some of the worst games they've knowingly hosted for years, games that have led thousands of children to getting extorted, and worse. Roblox's actions are nothing more than damage control for the problems they've allowed to fester, when the entire community was screaming at them to fix these problems. And the community saw that killing the messenger was an act of war. Shortly after these changes, Roblox released a video so bad that it was community noted on Twitter twice. David Baszucki, the CEO of Roblox, Matt Kaufman, the Chief Safety Officer of Roblox, and Eliza Jacobs, the Senior Director of Product Policy, did a 45-minute tech talk. Most of this is just corporate jumbo, but they go ahead and respond directly to their vigilante policy. Before I show this, I want you to remember, I'm the only person that Roblox has targeted with this vigilante policy that they just created. Not even my team was moderated or given any legal letter. I begged for a clear line and even offered to keep much of my work private to help, and I'm no way obligated to do that, but instead they went straight after me, moderating my accounts and sending a cease and desist before I could even react to the policy. And let's be clear about one thing, I'm not a vigilante. That means I'm taking the law into my own hands. We work with law enforcement, which is why we have arrests. Roblox refuses to say my name because they'd have to acknowledge those arrests. But make no mistake, they're responding to the outrage, which is about me, and this is what they had to say about it. They first start off the interview by talking about how vigilantes started out as a good thing.
Both inside of Roblox, and I think that there are lots of people outside of Roblox who really have the best intentions and the welfare of our community at heart. We all want to keep Roblox safe. And you know what? We welcome them in part of the dialogue about how to keep Roblox safer. And we have members of the community in these vigilante groups that started off in a really good place. They started off by saying like, hey, they're reporting on issues on Roblox. They're talking about how we could do better. And, you know, we paid really careful attention.
This statement is just laughably hilarious. If Roblox is really paying attention, then what about when my mom emailed you guys about my own case? What did you do then? Nothing. Actually, you kept paying the guy for years afterward until you were literally forced to do something about it. If what Roblox was claiming was actually true, them listening to the community, why are the biggest content creators leaving your exclusive YouTuber program in protest of how you're moderating your platform? And I'm going to actually bring up something later in this interview to show you how much of a joke this is. This year is Meep City, one of the most controversial games on Roblox. Creecraft, one of the largest Roblox YouTubers, joined this game and within 4 seconds was exposed to not safe for work content. The community has been complaining about this game for almost a decade now, but Roblox has still continued to leave this game up and platform it. But CEO David Baszucki mentions this game by name, and here's their philosophy on this.
You know, I can see some of our community naming experiences on Roblox and just say, take it down, take it down, take it down. I'd say examples could be Meep City, for example. Can you share, like, why should that be up? Should that be down? Like, what's up?
I think one thing that's really challenging developers to try to do is be fair.
This is a crazy math problem. This is so simple. The creator of this game wants these people in their game. How is this even controversial? The developer is giving the tools to the player to make this inappropriate content. And that is the problem with Roblox. Roblox turns a blind eye unless the developers are blatantly making not safe for work games. And even then, it is still on the line if Roblox will take action. Roblox might have just went back on their word regarding Meep City. This game had every inappropriate feature removed from it pretty much overnight. It's unknown if Roblox made Alex Neutron, the creator of Meep City, do this, but either way, it shows the public pressure is working. Games that Roblox is doubling down on are folding, so that's why it's really important to keep speaking up about this.
Then we saw something change. What we saw is that some of these groups started engaging with the community in ways that violated our policies. And so let me explain what that means. They would go and create accounts on Roblox claiming to be a child.
Roblox keeps repeating this same talking point, that I'm impersonating and pretending to be a child. But here's the reality. You have to pretend to be a child because if the predators knew they were talking to an adult, that wouldn't even be a crime. You guys seem to be more upset that I'm pretending to be a child than predators are decoys. And if it wasn't our decoys, it would be a real person. It's also worth noting that the FBI, ICAC, and local law enforcement all use these same exact tactics. Would Roblox be willing to send them a cease and desist too? And their claim that I'm impersonating children is flat out false. Impersonation means I'm stealing the identity of a real child. From the very beginning, we've never used real kids. We don't send pictures of real children, and we create totally new identities where every single photo that's sent is of someone that is of age. The only difference is we tell these people that we are underage. This is flat out a lie, what they're claiming. But what happens next is so wild that the CEO of Roblox cuts off the chief safety officer.
And then they would enter into game servers and they would go and start asking everybody around them, how old are you? And they were seeking out adults. If you said that you were, move on. But if you said that you were 25, then they would start engaging in conversation. Move on. But if you said that you were 25, then they would start engaging in conversations, and they would try and use those conversations to simulate.
Matt, is this anecdotal? Because I know we have chat logs for all chat on Roblox and historical records. Are you able to kind of...
David totally derails that conversation. That statement is probably the most wild made by Matt Kaufman in this whole interview. To simulate what, Matt Kaufman? Because it's not simulation. These are predators thinking that they're talking to someone that is real, and they a lot of times want to show up in person and do stuff to them in real life. And in my opinion, this shows how little Roblox actually cares about this problem. They can say whatever they want. They can talk about all the new safety features that they're rolling out, but it means nothing if lawsuits are being filed every single week against the company and headlines are making the media about a new horrible situation happening because of this platform. I also want to say how they totally mischaracterize how I run my decoy operation. We are never the first to engage with any of the predators. They always contact our decoy account first.
So we saw these actors, they're pretending to be kids, they're trying to find adults, and then what they're doing is they're trying to move the conversation as quickly as possible to other platforms that don't have the type of monitoring and policies that Roblox has. And then they were using that activity that happened on other platforms to create situations that they would then video, they would report to the police, and then only after would they let Roblox know.
Roblox is accusing me of encouraging adults to talk inappropriately to people they shouldn't. That is not true, and if it was true, I wouldn't have a single arrest. We present ourselves as a naive kid who doesn't know about these topics. Crimes like this should obviously be reported to law enforcement first, not Roblox. If Roblox is notified before the police, they can delete accounts, tip off the predators that are being investigated, and give them a chance to erase valuable evidence that the police need to prosecute. The fact that these predators are on the platform to begin with shows that their safety systems have failed. If Roblox did their jobs, there wouldn't be anybody for us to find. Roblox also claims that I'm moving these players to other platforms, but those platforms are linked directly on Roblox's own site. Roblox has actually even partnered with some of those platforms. They even own a bot on that other platform. Anyone can make an account 13 plus and see social media links on Roblox, and unsurprisingly, people in real life have been abducted because of this feature that Roblox allows. And when they say I'm creating these situations, that's just insulting. I'm not creating situations. These predators are trying to grab people within your community.
And there's a bunch of issues in here. Number one, the violation of our policies about being honest about how old you are. Number two, moving conversations off platform. And number three, waiting to tell Roblox when they identified violative behavior to come and tell us so we could take action.
In Matt Coffin's own words, in articles about vigilantes, he said law enforcement officials are best positioned to investigate potential crime. So why is he criticizing us for going to the police first? And it's not like we're not even reporting these things to Roblox. We do. We give Roblox the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. They have the first chat log till the very end where they're in handcuffs. And we have numerous fully documented instances where Roblox refused to take action until after we released videos that got millions of views on Roblox.
And they started off, really, and they still do really care about the community.
I'm going to show you this predator I caught. I sent a message in the chat and I got this guy messaging me.
Yes, okay, how old are you? I ask him back how old he is, and he says he's older than 18. I tell him I'm years old. Do you mind me being younger? No, not really. If you can keep it a secret between us, though. And he does Predator Strat 101. He asks for my Snap or Discord. And the reason why he's asking for Snap is because the messages delete. I tell him Discord, and I get on Discord with him, and the messages begin right away.
Throughout that entire process, where did I harm anyone? Because the real harm was Roblox letting this game exist on their platform for years. It only disappeared after Hindenburg, an investment research firm, went ahead and exposed Roblox for hosting this experience. And conveniently, it vanished the moment they showcased this predator catch. Notice as well how I wasn't the one to ask for Discord or Snapchat. The predator did. These were the sort of people interacting with our decoys, and so many people are becoming victimized from people exactly like this.
They were normalizing policy violations on the platform.
What Roblox's own algorithm recommends inappropriate items to people. Roblox actively hosts not safe for work games for children. Roblox themselves in this interview doubled down on one of the most infamous instances of inappropriate behavior that they've allowed for nearly a decade, and they're really going at me for normalizing policy violations. Absolutely unbelievable.
And the other piece is oftentimes the sort of evidence that was collected, the video evidence, was really difficult to verify, really difficult for us. And if law enforcement had to verify it, then they're talking about subpoenas. And so I think something that sometimes seems obvious to folks in the community really is just much more complicated on the back end.
I'm not sure how the evidence that I was sending you guys was hard to verify. I sent you guys screen recordings of us scrolling through the entire chat on mobile. And a lot of the stuff that happens is happening directly within Roblox. Like for instance, when Roblox refused to ban this predator, we got arrested in Hawaii, and he was literally talking in-game about planning the meetup in real life on Roblox. With all that being said, I wanted to ask someone who's been working with law enforcement and has been doing predator catching since before I was even born. So I decided to take a seat with Chris Hansen to catch some answers.
I'm Chris Hansen. I'm co-founder and correspondent reporter for the True Blue Streaming Crime Network. We do a lot of crime and investigative reporting. Our Takedown series, which exposes predators trying to exploit children online. And we also work on a number of documentaries, including this particular project, exposing the sort of thing that goes on Roblox.
I wanted to ask you about some of the comments that Roblox has specifically stated about
It all happens according to the law, and then that gets turned over. Now, I know that these guys are in the high-tech world who invented this stuff in some ways. Why don't they get ahead of it and get a young guy on their team?
That's talk with you guys. We know a lot of these really bad actors, and the first official contact I had with them was the cease and desist letter.
It's horrible from a public image standpoint. I mean, you're killing the messenger, right? It's not like you're out there tracking these guys down with tasers and smoke guns. I mean, you're providing information to the platform to do something about it.
One of the major complaints that Roblox had about me was that I was actually going to law enforcement first before sending their report, just so that they would have a start to finish conversation of everything that took place. Did you guys ever reach out to social media sites before this sting goes down?
No, we always go to law enforcement. We work with law enforcement in everything we do. And that is to ensure a successful prosecution. That's why the prosecution rate in these days is like 99.1%. It's law enforcement first, then they can deal with the corporation. The corporation should be more concerned about reporting what it finds to law enforcement to investigate.
I'm going to read to you a quote from Roblox's corporate blog describing our operations. Similar to actual predators, they often impersonate my actively approach users and then try to lead them onto different platforms to have really explicit conversation.
Based upon what you approach, information gets turned over to law enforcement. And in many cases, they do something, and then you report that both on your platform as a citizen journalist, a young guy working on these stories, and to Roblox to take action of Roblox, because anything that creates awareness and a dialogue is important. Where a guy was arrested in Central Florida for and actually giving them Robux and having them exploit siblings and other. It made headlines down in Marion County, Florida. And so I started digging into it. We had good contacts with that sheriff's department there. And we actually, ironically, just did a predator sting, a takedown sting down there. So we started with an interview there. And it turns out that in the same jurisdiction, there was a 10-year-old girl who was exploited on Roblox by a man all the way over in England. And so we interviewed that victim's mother, and all of a sudden all these cases started developing, including the lawsuit by the Attorney General of Louisiana.
That's interesting you mentioned Florida, because we got an arrest there. We got it in Polk County, and it was a guy who possessed.
Polk County, as you know, is where Sheriff Grady Judd is, and they're very active in the space.
Oh, yeah.
We go to work with them as well. First of all, it breaks my heart, and I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this as a younger guy on this particular platform. The fact that you were bullied and preyed upon and advantage of, and that it went to the extent it did, it breaks my heart. And this is why we do these investigations. But to see you at your age turn it into a positive and do something about it, I think is incredible and admirable.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
From a guy who's been kicking around doing this for 42 or 43 years now, it's really cool, because when I started on television, I was your age. I was 22 years old. So when I see a young person do this kind of work, it's very impressive to me, because I know what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, it's very crazy when you start looking into this stuff. I mean, it's a rabbit hole. It only gets more disturbing the more you see it.
Well, and since we announced that we're doing this documentary and that you are collaborating, I am overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. I saw a tweet on Twitter. It got like 160,000 likes that you're just even looking into the platform. Because that's the thing. People have known about these issues for so long, but journalists haven't done enough to really look into it. And now it's starting to break into the world where everybody is starting to start to be aware.
Well, now you're seeing more mainstream, outlets cover it. And look, we have the ability to infiltrate this world because we've been doing it for 21 years. First with To Catch a Predator, and for the last 2.5 years at True Blue, our streaming crime network, with Takedown. So we know how to do this and work with law enforcement. Now, a lot of people can go out and do this stuff independently, but here you are, a good example of somebody who has done the work and given it to law enforcement. And that's the key here, because if you expose these guys and make fun of them and do a Borat kind of thing like some other content creators, they often don't face the consequences. They don't have to register as a offender. They don't get prosecuted.
Yeah, and I think the thing is too, a lot of the reason why I have to make this content is because we reach out to Roblox, we give them the emails, we give them all the information. They don't respond until after we publish a video that gets millions of views on YouTube. It makes me concerned because if we're getting that, what are real victims getting?
Look, I understand a little bit Roblox situation here. What they're trying to do is follow the protocol. When they see something, they're mandated to report that to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which then refers it to law enforcement. And that's good, and they should be doing that. But why they wouldn't also take advantage of information given to them, wrapped with a bow around it, as you have done, it's stunning to me that they wouldn't see the opportunity here to be an ally of yours as opposed to somebody who they're making an example of and saying you're breaking the rules, banning you. I don't understand that. From a corporate citizen aspect, it doesn't make sense. From a public relations standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And from a justice-seeking standpoint, it doesn't make sense. So I don't know, and I hope that during the course of this, that I'll get a chance to sit down with somebody at Roblox. And I have a feeling that's going to happen. But I'm going to be posing all of those questions when that interview takes place.
To young people who look up to you and see predators in online spaces, what is the single most important step that they can take?
Years ago, law enforcement
Hansen featured on this channel. Chris Hansen is flying me out soon to actually...
And then all the numbers look good, and investors will be happy.
To do something that was inappropriate in the game.
All the way up to the CEO, a man whose vision includes adding distance over safety.
PR stuff. Ooh, boy. The Roblox so much worse. Who could have seen that coming? Oh, wait. Me. In my last video. This is only going to get worse. Well, after all the Roblox PR stuff in the last week since my last video, looks like schlep is so like flippant
and
about
one thing
this.
that we really try to do is be fair to our developers.
Harmed.
Predator I caught. I sent a
Are you
message
kidding
in the
me?
chat and I got this guy messaging me.
Yes, okay, how old are you? I asked him back how old he is, and he says he's
Roblox is one of
Roblox is one of the most popular gaming platforms in the world.
The developers of that game are now facing mounting criticism over child safety concerns.
Games like this are not helping.
The Roblox Corporation has sent a cease and desist letter to me.
Instead of stopping the predators, Roblox stops the people stopping the predators.
They are the problem.
People everywhere are furious with Roblox, and now they're getting sued. The platform promised to be safe, but the reality is very different. So today, I'm breaking down the entire case, even meeting with some of the biggest YouTubers. And then, on behalf of everyone, I'm helping to sue Roblox. This summer, Roblox was hit with a massive lawsuit centered on a young player known as DH. The lawsuit claims she joined the platform after believing the company's promise that it was safe and educational. While using Roblox, she was allegedly approached by an adult, misrepresenting who they were, and the platform's moderation systems didn't catch it. She was later taken from her home and abused by the same individual. And she's not alone. Since 2018, police have arrested at least 24 people accused of misusing Roblox to contact young users and move chats off platform. Some had prior records. Others were people in trusted roles, like teachers, nurses, even a cop. Even Roblox has reported over 13,000 flagged incidents on its platform, a huge jump from roughly 3,000 the year before. Roblox says that's just a small fraction compared to all US reports. But for parents, the numbers feel staggering. And here's the core claim. The lawsuit argues Roblox allegedly knew these risks, but kept selling parents on the idea of a safe digital playground. Even some of Roblox's biggest creators are speaking out. Take Schlep, a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. When he was younger, he says he had a troubling experience involving a Roblox developer.
All that happened to me, it totally messed me up mentally. It made me have to go into therapy and psychologically messed with, relationships that I had. Even till this day, I mean, it's something that, it was messed up.
That experience pushed him to act. As an adult, he began working with police by conducting investigations on Roblox. His efforts have led to the arrest of 6 people. So Schlep, what was the goal when you started making videos about safety issues on Roblox?
It really all started back to my own personal experiences related to it. I had some very negative experiences as a kid, and I was affected by a very popular developer. So I saw these issues firsthand, like I experienced them.
But instead of celebrating him, Roblox banned his accounts and sent a cease and desist letter, accusing him of violating the rules against vigilante groups.
They're trying to silence the whistleblowers. They're spending more energy going after people like Schlep. But what they're doing, they're trying to put a muzzle on this whole thing. They're also trying to silence all the victims. And this is important,
That same day, Schlep dropped an 8-minute video where he described his ban, as well as his troubling experience with the Roblox developer. Schlep's exposing creep crap piled on, calling Roblox backwards and hypocritical. #FreeSchlep trended worldwide.
I was blown away with all the support, and it's been absolutely amazing reading all the messages. It was trending on Twitter for 3 days straight when the news first broke of it. And I mean, people were just outraged. They saw it for what it was. They were silencing someone trying to blow the whistle.
I think that's a really powerful thing.
You're silencing someone trying to blow the whistle.
Signatures in less than a week, and Roblox's stock price dropped by $12 billion. Now, Schlep, did you expect your videos to get as much attention as they did?
Honestly, no. My whole goal with these videos is actually just to bring this to the attention of Roblox. Like, I wanted Roblox to see what was going on because I was reporting these communities to Roblox. I was making reports on a lot of these people. Nothing was happening. And the only other thing you can do is go public with it. So that's what I did.
But the story doesn't end there. Schlep just announced he's suing Roblox, not over the ban, but over the damage he says he suffered years ago from a developer on the platform. His lawyer confirmed he's also representing many others with similar stories.
We have over 800 cases involving sex abuse. These are personal injury claims. So survivors are coming forward because of the personal injuries and the trauma they experienced. Yeah, we think it's a very strong case, and I think that's part of the reason they're fighting so hard to try and move this into some types of confidential proceedings. So they think people will forget about what happened, and then they won't.
And now, because of you all bringing this issue to my attention, I've made the decision to team up with Schlep's lawyer to help sue Roblox. Reach out to my firm, IThinkIHaveACase.com, if you've gone through something similar. If someone is scared about something they experienced on Roblox, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to call a lawyer, find out about their legal options, and let them know that they will be believed. There's strength in numbers. Terrible things happen on Roblox. Hundreds and hundreds of people have come forward. We're here for you.
definitely reach out to us. We are here to help.
Now he's fighting back in court because if Roblox won't be held accountable in their own platform, we'll make sure that they're held accountable in the courtroom.
Now let's investigate how Roblox is designed, because the lawsuits claim there are at least 3 serious flaws. First, until 2021, anyone could make an account by entering just a username, password, and birthday. Users could misstate their age and unlock unrestricted chat, which the lawsuits claim made it very common to find lower levels talking with adults. YouTubers like Gideon and Rob the Master, who have become well known for exposing bad actors, have said just how easy it is.
When we went on Roblox, it did not take long for our account to get attention from child predators. It was almost instantaneous.
Roblox says it's taking stronger steps to protect its younger players. The company has rolled out ID verification, asking players over 13 to scan a government-issued ID and selfie to gain access to certain features. It's also testing age estimation, where machine learning guesses a user's age from a short video. And new features like trusted connections are meant to limit deeper chat and voice features to people you actually know in real life.
You know, we weren't just finding 1 or 2 peppers on there. We've caught 6 off of the game itself. But not only that, we've had dozens of these guys just contacting and grooming our decoy that we sadly weren't able to catch. And the real sad thing out here is that Roblox is going around telling parents that they're one of the safest apps for children, when from my own experience, that's not the case.
Even with ID checks and trusted connections, the scale of the platform makes full protection something that has to be taken even more seriously.
Unless you wanted to play the 17 plus mic up games and stuff like that. Anybody can pretty much sign up for Roblox.
Next, the game uses in-game currency called Robux. Players use Robux to buy rare accessories and customize their avatars, and many lower levels are obsessed with it. The lawsuits point out these players even say they do anything for Robux. So bad actors can take advantage of that by dangling Robux to gain control. And third is the lack of moderation. In 2017, the company claimed it had thousands of moderators working 24/7, plus advanced filters blocking unsafe content. The reality looks very different. For starters, Roblox has hosted many games with questionable themes, including Run from Diddy Simulator, Shower Simulator, and Bloody Battles. The fact that these games even existed undercuts Roblox's claim of being a safe, moderated place. But it's not just the games that are concerning. Roblox is now the go-to social platform for younger audiences. 78 million users log in every day. The platform processes more than 50,000 chat messages every second. Roblox claims its AI and human reviewers scan all of it, text, audio, and images. But here's the problem. The company allegedly employs only about 3,000 moderators. Compare that to TikTok, roughly 3 times Roblox's daily users, but over 13 times the number of moderators on staff. The reason for the lack of moderators is allegedly due to Roblox's focus on growth over safety. In fact, 8 current and former trust and safety staff describe ignored requests for more resources, backlogs of incident reports, and even a manager quitting after promised hires never showed up. Some say protective features they suggested, like pop-up warnings, were rejected, and safety settings, like blocking strangers in chat, were switched off by default. Once again, Roblox points to AI moderation as a solution, but employees admit the tech still misses the subtle signs of unsafe behavior, and the gaps aren't small. The filters block words like Snapchat or Discord, but people get around them by using emojis or by tweaking the spelling a little. Even phone numbers are apparently blocked if you type the digits, but not if you just spell them out. The lawsuits argue that these kinds of loopholes prove Roblox knows the risks of off-platform communication, yet it still leaves these obvious workarounds wide open. In court, the usual defense might not save Roblox. Most platforms lean on a law called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, and that law protects websites and apps from being sued over what their users post. That's why Instagram or YouTube don't get dragged into court every time someone uploads something harmful. But the lawsuits against Roblox aren't just about what users post. They're about the company itself. Lawyers argue Roblox designed the platform in risky ways, marketed it as safe, and then ignored clear warning signs. And at least one court has already said Section 230 doesn't cover misrepresentation. So if Roblox tells parents this is safe and it's not, that responsibility falls on Roblox, not the users. That's why these lawsuits matter to me. They represent more than just a few individual complaints. They're part of a broader movement pushing tech companies to take accountability, especially when their platforms are hurting younger players. Now, multiple cases are moving forward, and a jury will have to decide if Roblox should be held responsible. And if the plaintiffs win, the fallout could be huge. because it would set precedents that might force Roblox and other platforms like it to overhaul how they verify users and protect younger audiences. And I don't know how this video will perform or how many people will reach because YouTube flags and restricts videos on this topic. It's kind of scary because people are afraid to put out information on this, but we feel like it's our duty to make sure that everyone knows. If you or someone you know needs help, reach out to us. Thank you for watching. Sure that
Yesterday, Roblox probably got
Roblox is one of the most popular platforms on the planet. And I don't mean just for gaming, I just mean in general. Like, in just normal existence, Roblox's numbers are unfathomable. Kids probably know the name Roblox before they know the name Jesus or Santa Claus. Roblox is more popular with kids than the common cold. Let me just slap you with the cold hard Carfax here with the numbers. Roblox recently just broke the record for most concurrent users on a gaming platform. They hit 47.3 million concurrent users, which absolutely fists Steam's previous record of 41.2 million. And at least 77% of that record comes from only 2 games. Grow a Garden, which has become a fucking Godzilla kaiju level success over the last couple months, where it's been breaking records left and right for concurrent players. It got to 22 million, which is the highest for any single game ever, absolutely biblically smacking down Fortnite's record from its prime. And another game, Steal a Brain Rot, which had 15 million concurrent. These numbers are unfathomable, especially when you consider the fact that more and more people have had their eyes open to the danger of the platform. Over the last couple weeks, Roblox has been getting fucking torched. It has been getting flambéed by the general public because many people have now become aware of just how many predators have been rampant on that platform for years, unchecked. And really, the straw that broke the camel's back was when they banned schlep. And they made a strong stance against vigilantes who were getting predators arrested from their platform because Roblox was not doing enough on their own. Roblox pulled some galaxy brain chess maneuver and just showed the world its entire asshole, and it was rotten. Roblox has made like a really aggressive, strong, scorched earth stance against the people that are stopping predators on their platform, as opposed to channeling that energy to going after the predators themselves. They seem more upset that people are talking about and doing something on their own about these dangerous, evil individuals on their platform. Yes, over the years, Roblox has, of course, reported dangerous people to authorities, but they've clearly missed some. They've slipped through the cracks. And as such, a lot of children have been victim to some horrible people. You can find so many stories about this happening, and Roblox's lack of action. It's sickening. So the community took it upon themselves to start trying to do something about it because Roblox wasn't listening to them and they clearly weren't doing enough. And instead of like working with the community to try and make it better, Roblox instead attacked all of them and made this like, you know, fucking wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. We will snap away all vigilantes. And then crickets about the pedophiles. It's fucking baffling. Their stock price has now recovered and is almost back to where it was in a very short period of time. It has rebounded and it will likely just continue to go up because its users are exploding. So even though parents and like the general population are more aware of the danger on Roblox now than ever, it hasn't actually impacted them overly negatively, other than their reputation being in the shitter, which also doesn't really seem to matter that much because people are just fucking addicted to it like Fent. So they continue to flock to Roblox, even knowing full well the possibility of bad actors being all over the place. You could queue up for a Steal a Brain Rot game, or there have been a lot of stuff that we've already covered, but the most recent being Law by Mike, who has now joined in this fight against Roblox, where he has announced he is suing them. And he is actively looking to gather more evidence from more victims about all of the traumatic experiences and all the horrible things that they may have gone through on Roblox, to try and get Roblox to do more to moderate that platform to keep the kids safe on it. Because it is a platform mainly used by children. Also, I've mentioned this before, the fucking CEO having like a companion app, or not a companion app. That guy is a real creep. I mentioned this before, the fucking CEO, Dave Bazuki, I think that guy is a real creep. I think he is such a weirdo. It was pulling teeth trying to get Roblox to acknowledge that 17 plus, that still is a minor. So he is the guy that's a real creep. I think he is such a weirdo. It was pulling teeth trying to get Roblox to acknowledge that 17 plus, that still is a minor. So he is the guy that's pitching Roblox as having like a companion app, or not a companion app, being half gaming and half dating for 17 plus. He wanted a 17 plus dating service to be an addition to Roblox as a gaming platform. And not only that, all of like the adult games on Roblox, like the spicy content adult games, are 17 plus. And they were locked in on that. They planted their fucking feet and refused to budge an inch, no matter how many people were telling them that 17 is still a minor. You shouldn't be able to have adult access given to a 17-year-old and like a 17 dating app. It's so fucking weird, but they were really like, they planted their feet on that. And it's only recently that they finally said, okay, 18 plus. What? I cannot believe how hard it was. That should be a huge red flag to a lot of people, I would say. But also, I'm going to go a step further. Roblox is mainly a platform for children. I just don't even think it should offer 18 plus services in any capacity, like 18 plus games or a fucking 18 plus dating accessory to it. It's weird. And I know I've already mentioned that, but I really find that so fucking alarming that they would not move on 17 plus. And then when they finally, a couple bits and pieces from Law by Mike's video here about the lawsuit that he's failures in
50,000 chat messages every second. Roblox claims its AI and human reviewers scan all of it, text, audio, and images. But here's the problem. The company allegedly employs only about 3,000 moderators. Compare that to TikTok, roughly 3 times Roblox's daily users, but over 13 times the number of moderators on staff. The reason for the lack of moderators is allegedly due to Roblox's focus on growth over safety.
I recommend you check out Law by Mike's full video on this covering it. But this section here, I think, is something very important to mention. And it's something, again, a lot of people have talked about, including moderators from Roblox and former employees in this department. Roblox seems to have prioritized perpetual growth with safety falling to the back burner as like this afterthought, because they've been able to get away with being very lackluster and hands-off for so many years. Despite tons and tons of victims and tons of horror stories, they've never really had anything that affected them to a degree that would concern them to make them prioritize safety. Contrary to what they say to parents and shit about how safe Roblox is, it's like letting your kids, have daycare in heaven. There's nothing wrong on Roblox. You got our big thumbs up guarantee on that, which is obviously not the case. And you can also see that reflected in the size of their team. As Law by Mike points out, 3,000 moderators for their size is just not enough. He compares it to TikTok, which has significantly more users and significantly more moderators. Like I think everyone recognizes that it's not possible for them to catch every single bad actor and every single bad message that goes through Roblox. The volume is just too high. But what they could do is work more collaboratively with people like Schlep, people that do actively work to try and make the community safer. Instead of villainizing them, they could instead be, in partnership with them, or at least on friendly terms, and at least listen to them, because the community also wants the game to be safe. So they are working to try and make the game they love safer for the player base. And instead of Roblox coming out and fucking slapping them around for no reason and banning them, it makes no sense why they wouldn't view that as another arm of moderation for them, where the community is policing themselves. Their handling of it just makes no sense to me. Like, they don't have enough moderators. I think that should be very clear to everyone, including Roblox. So they need more moderators, but they also have a community that is actively trying to catch bad actors and get them off the platform. And instead of working with them, they are working against them. It's just so fucking backwards, if you ask me.
In fact, 8 current and former trust and safety staff described ignored requests for more resources, backlogs of incident reports, and even a manager quitting after promised hires never showed up. Some say protective features they suggested, like pop-up warnings, were rejected, and safety settings, like blocking strangers in chat, were switched off by default. Once again, Roblox points to AI moderation as the solution, but employees admit the tech still misses the subtle signs of unsafe behavior, and the gaps aren't small. The filters block words like Snapchat or Discord, but people get around them by using emojis or by tweaking the spelling a little.
To me, that paints a very clear picture that Roblox prioritizes profit over safety of its users. Instead of hiring more human moderators that can pick up on those behaviors, like former employees have mentioned, they instead put all of their eggs into the basket of AI. Not because the tools are more effective and it's better than their human counterparts, but because it's cheaper. 100% AI is significantly cheaper instead of hiring another like 5,000 moderators or something. Instead of hiring 5,000 people with a salary and everything that comes with it, the benefits and all that, they instead just need to have AI do it for them. It would save them so much money on their bottom line, which is why it's so enticing to Roblox and many other corporations like it. It is clearly not as effective as a human moderator. Human moderators seem to actually want to improve Roblox. According to these reports, they were suggesting features that were rejected for some reason and a plethora of other issues.
Communications Decency Act, and that law protects websites and apps from being sued over what their users post. That's why Instagram or YouTube don't get dragged into court every
claims that it is. And it seems like they know that it's not, but continue. I think I have a case for anyone that may have an experience like what so many others have unfortunately gone through on Roblox. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. That's really it. So yeah.
Roblox is currently facing one of the biggest scandals in gaming history, and judging by their response so far, this could be what finally destroys the game for good. It all started with them banning and threatening to sue a YouTuber named Schlep for exposing PDF files on their platform.
Roblox Corporation has sent a cease and desist letter to me, a 22-year-old, versus a multi-billion-dollar company, threats of litigation, because I catch predators on their platform.
But when Schlep shared the incident online, most people saw it as Roblox trying to shield some of the worst people in our society.
So instead of stopping the predators, Roblox stops the people stopping the predators. It's really backwards, if you ask me. That shit doesn't make any sense. Like, just let that marinate in your head for a moment.
What followed was a firestorm of backlash that went far beyond a trending hashtag. Some of the biggest Roblox creators cut all ties with the company.
Roblox is so detached from reality. I feel like it's got to be done at this point. I'm leaving the STAR program. I'm out. I'm done.
It's getting sued by members of the US government. It lost over $12 billion in market value in days. And now, the most well-known PDF catcher in the world, Chris Hansen, is telling Roblox to take a seat. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we're taking a deep dive into the disturbing situation surrounding Roblox, how it failed to address the massive child safety issues on its platform for years, banned one of the few people who were actually trying to make a difference, and then doubled down on its decision despite everyone on the internet telling them just how wrong this move was.
I think some of these groups started off in a really good place, and they started off really, and they still do really care about the community.
But you know what the right move is? Subscribing, because 76% of you aren't subscribed but still watch all of my videos. That being said, to truly grasp the chaos unfolding in front of us, we have to start with the man at the heart of it all, Schlep. Michael, known online as Schlep, is a Roblox YouTuber who first gained success by bringing attention to the mountains of inappropriate content and games on the platform. However, what really cemented Schlep as a household name in the Roblox community was his To Catch a Robloxian series. In essence, these videos were similar to how Chris Hansen used to do things back in the day, or even how modern hunters like Gideon catch PDF files online. The only difference was, instead of social media as a whole, Schlep focused entirely on Roblox. He used decoys who pretended to be underage and engaged with anyone trying to have inappropriate conversations with these decoys.
He would not stop talking about how much he was obsessed with the face of the decoy.
I'm obsessed.
Tell me more.
I just love how good your face looks.
Really?
Hell yes. You're attractive. I definitely do some stuff to your amazing face, you know?
From this point on, the messages become so graphic that I don't even feel comfortable sharing them here. For context, not long after the last messages I showed, he sent an explicit photo, and then multiple videos. The decoy played naive, pretending to not understand this kind of stuff.
Once he had enough information on who the other person was, or if the other person tried to make a move on the decoy, Schlep handed everything over to the police, allowing them to take matters from there. And unlike creators like Vitaly, who tried to hunt down Preds just to humiliate them on camera and farm content, Schlep's only goal was to make Roblox a safer place for its hundreds of millions of underage players. And by getting 6 different PDF files arrested in just the last 10 months, he was definitely succeeding at this goal. The audience also loved this content, with many even sharing personal anecdotes in support of everything Schlep was doing. Hi Schlep, I'm an SA survivor, and seeing you protect other kids from going through the pain I went through really warms my heart. Thank you. Dude, you're not protecting Roblox, you're protecting the world. As a teenage girl, thank you so much for doing this work. I know to avoid these people, fortunately, but I'm so glad you're protecting the people who don't know what to avoid. You're amazing. And while millions appreciated him for doing the right thing, for Schlep, this meant a lot more than that. For him, it was personal. You see, Schlep first started playing on Roblox 10 years ago, when he was just 12 years old. Unfortunately, not long after joining, he was contacted by a prominent game developer on the platform. And for the next 3 years, this developer did everything in their power to group Schlep, from sending them graphic violent content and corn, to engaging in deeply inappropriate conversations. However, when Schlep was hospitalized after trying to end it all, likely due to the mental abuse he was going through, his mother tried to contact Roblox about what was going on, only for her pleas to fall on deaf ears. The company only responded after his mother threatened legal action. But even then, they waived all responsibility, claiming that the inappropriate stuff happened, quote, on another platform, completely glancing over the fact that it all started on their platform, and more importantly, the person who was being reported was directly contracted by Roblox. Worst of all, this person didn't face any penalties for what they did to Schlep. Roblox kept them on payroll for years, and only fired them after another female developer reported them for SA. In other words, To Catch a Robloxian was Schlep's way of making sure no other kid goes through what he once did. That said, the only reason Schlep had to take matters into his own hands was because Roblox didn't show any interest in making their game safe for over 50% of their player base. The thing is, Roblox has always been a popular hunting ground for PDF files due to its lax moderation and practically non-existent age verification. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of reports of Preds using the platform to find and lure victims. Many even using the in-game currency Robux as a bribe for inappropriate favors, including multiple cases of PDF files going as far as kidnapping victims they met on Roblox. And an investigation done by an Australian online safety organization also exposed just how widespread this issue truly was.
Who's been offered free Robux to do something that was inappropriate in the game? Or someone has said, I'll give you some free Robux if you come and follow me on Snapchat or TikTok or something like that. Who's had that happen? Okay, loads of you.
Yet, despite all this, Roblox never took any of it seriously and let things become worse with each passing day. Not to mention the influx of extremely disturbing games on the platform like Escape to Epstein Island, Public Bathroom Simulator, and the many Diddy-related titles. Roblox's inaction forced Schlep to fix the issue himself to the best of his abilities, but instead of thanking him for his effort or even learning from his example and doing something themselves, Roblox responded by doing the worst thing they could, banning Schlep and threatening legal action if he continued exposing PDFs on their platform. On August 9th, 2025, Schlep uploaded a video with a title that sounded too cartoonishly evil to be true, claiming Roblox is threatening to sue me for protecting kids. Unfortunately, this wasn't clickbait.
The Roblox Corporation has sent a cease and desist letter to me, a 22-year-old, versus a multi-billion-dollar company, threats of litigation, because I catch predators on their platform.
Schlep revealed that every account he's ever had on Roblox was banned from the platform, including the accounts he and his team were actively using to catch PDFs. He was also prohibited from using any Roblox product ever again, with threats of legal action if he ever tried to work around this ban. However, their reasoning for doing all this was dubious at best and outright deceptive at worst. According to them, Schlep's actions were somehow exposing their users to increased risk. The three actions they highlighted as primary reasons behind this cease and desist were also untrue. For instance, they claimed that Schlep was the one directing users to move the conversation off platform, even though it was clear from his videos that the Preds were the ones who always asked the decoy to go off platform to apps like Snapchat or Discord. Similarly, their claim about simulated child endangerment conversations didn't hold much weight either.
Engaging in simulated child endangerment conversations. What? So one of the fundamental bases of predator catching is that you cannot talk sexually to predators. Predators are supposed to be the ones talking sexually to you. If you talk sexually to predators like straight off the get-go, that's entrapment. That is literally what entrapment is. We almost always play a naive kid who doesn't know anything about this stuff, so they teach us about this stuff. If you watch these videos, you know how the chats are going.
Worst of all, the company claimed that Schlep didn't use the right channels to report these PDFs before going to the authorities, disregarding the fact that he always shared the same chat logs with Roblox as he did to the police. The only difference is the police actually took action, while Roblox ignored his reports altogether.
Tell me the right outlets. I have been trying to figure this out for like a year now. We go to roblox.com/support, submit a moderation ticket, and then fill out the prompt with all the information regarding our arrest and give you guys the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. And in a lot of instances, Roblox won't even ban after we reach out to them regarding felony arrest.
The only time Roblox actually banned the perpetrators was long after Schlep's video featuring them received millions of views. Now, one could argue that Roblox didn't respond to his reports simply because they don't have the capacity to review the tens of thousands of reports they receive each day, though they would if they actually cared about keeping their platform safe. But giving them the benefit of the doubt still doesn't change the fact that, in one instance, Schlep even tagged the company's CEO directly on Twitter, and instead of any acknowledgement, he was blocked.
Last time I tweeted at Roblox's CEO, it was about a predator we had arrested. Roblox ignored it until Gideon and I made videos. Then they banned him, only for him to return. I sent proof of him talking about the video I made on him in a voice chat game on Roblox. Mind you, the same game a 10-year-old was abducted through weeks from this taking place. I replied to one of the CEO's posts about this, and he blocked me.
Getting back to his ban, it's unclear why anyone at Roblox thought it would be a good idea. What is clear, however, was that none of them expected the sheer scale of backlash they would receive in response. Schlep's video announcing the ban went viral almost immediately, amassing over 4.5 million views in less than 2 weeks. More importantly, the topic got picked up by some of the biggest creators on YouTube, almost all of whom were in full support of Schlep.
It's pretty odd considering Roblox willingly turns a blind eye to the pedophile plague on their platform, but will laser focus, dial in, and fucking call in like the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs in order to try and wipe out people like Schlep that try and stop the predators themselves. So instead of stopping the predators, Roblox stops the people stopping the predators. It's really backwards, if you ask me. That shit doesn't make any sense. Like, just let that marinate in your head for a moment.
Just hours after the announcement, #FreeSchlep started trending on social media sites as well, and the support for him was overwhelming, with some of the top comments under his video stating things like, "The whole world is on your side, homie. Roblox won't win, and we'll make sure of it. Keep fighting. We'll be there with you. We with you 100%, bro. They should be disgraced you're doing their job for them." Roblox's initial response to this backlash seemed like a step in the right direction, like banning many of the deeply inappropriate games they'd been happily promoting to children for years, and forcing popular games like Meep City to remove all inappropriate features like lewd animations and outfits. In reality, however, this was nothing more than corporate damage control, something that became obvious with the response video the company's executives, including the CEO, put out. And while they didn't mention Schlep by name, the whole 45-minute video boiled down to how, quote, vigilantes were going too far.
I think some of these groups started off in a really good place, and they started off, really, and they still do really care about the community. The actions that they were taking were putting our community at greater risk and were violations of our policy.
This doesn't really make any sense if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, because by definition, a vigilante is someone who undertakes law enforcement in their community without legal authority. In other words, someone who takes the law into their own hands and tries to enact judgment despite not having the authority to do so. Well, Schlep never did anything even remotely close to this. He never tried to detain the PDFs he exposed or put them through some other punishment. All he did was hand over the information he'd gathered to the authorities and let them decide what to do next, which, given the evidence he'd gathered, usually resulted in the pred getting arrested. So when some of Roblox's top executives insinuated that Schlep was acting like a vigilante, it only underscored just how out of touch they truly were. At one point in the video, Roblox's chief safety officer made a string of claims about Schlep and his team to justify the ban, only for the CEO to cut him off mid-sentence.
They would go and create accounts on Roblox claiming to be a child. And then they would enter into game servers and they would go and start asking everybody around them, how old are you? And they were seeking out adults. If you said that you were 12 or you said you were 7, they would just move on. But if you said that you were 25, then they would start engaging in conversations and they would try and use those conversations to simulate.
Matt, is this anecdotal? Because I know we have chat logs for all chat on Roblox and historical records. Are you able to kind of take a look at this?
The way CEO David Basuki interrupted and derailed the conversation was quite suspicious, almost as if he realized the CSO was making things up and didn't want to hand the internet any more ammunition. Here's the thing, however, if the company's track record is anything to go by, they likely would have stuck with their decision to ban Schlep and moved on like nothing ever happened. No amount of online backlash would have made them budge. In a statement released on August 13th, they even insinuated that PDF catchers like Schlep were somehow just as bad as the Preds. Fortunately, the story of Schlep's ban became international news, allowing it to reach people who can actually hold Roblox and its management accountable. On August 15th, 2025, Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill filed a lawsuit against the company for knowingly endangering the well-being of its younger player base. This hits the company where it mattered the most, their wallets. The news of this lawsuit was followed up by a historic crash in Roblox stock, wiping off over $12 billion from its market valuation. And this was only after the lawsuit was announced. It's not hard to imagine Roblox losing a lot more if the lawsuit goes through and succeeds. That said, the Louisiana lawsuit was only the beginning of Roblox's troubles, because the same day, Schlep announced the law firms he'd partnered with to file a counterclaim against Roblox. These are Steiner Gold, Greiko and Hensley, and Milberg, Coleman, Bryson, Phillips, Grossman, both of which have successfully represented victims of Jeffrey Epstein in the past. And if that wasn't bad enough, world-renowned PDF catcher and grifter Chris Hansen announced his upcoming documentary on Relation. Just think of how many parents assumed Roblox was just a harmless children's game, and to let their kids have unrestricted access to it. With Schlep's story gaining international attention, many of these parents have now seen the truth, and they will likely never let their kids get even close to Roblox ever again. As an angry father on YouTube put it, "I'm a 31-year-old father of a 9-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. I had absolutely no idea how dangerous this Roblox could be. I had to sit my her down and asked her if she had ever played any of these games like Bathroom Simulator, and it turns out she has. I'm furious as a dad. How could things like this exist in a child's game? If I could meet with that Roblox CEO in person, I'd kick his ass. This ultimately is one of the most important outcomes of this whole situation. So even if Roblox manages to dodge legal trouble and continues operating as usual, parents and by extension their children will still be aware of the dangers lurking online dating to a platform where over half the player base is underaged.
Given Roblox's history with how many cases, numerous cases there have been of adults preying on children through Roblox, to now try and cater Roblox to be a dating site for adults sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A petition to remove this CEO has received over 212,000 signatures in less than 2 weeks, and maybe new leadership could save Roblox. But right now, it's racing towards a downfall it fully deserves. A game that didn't deserve its downfall one bit, however, was Little Big Planet. Click the video on